Good morning, everybody. It's your pal Metalhead here. Hope you're doing well. Let's see, today is Tuesday the 29th of March 2022. I'm outside Marylebone Station waiting for the train to Banbury. And there's two reasons why I'm going to Banbury today. First, we're going to go to Byfield, where Sandy Denny lived and played her last gig on the 1st of April 1978. And so we're going to go check out a little bit of Byfield today. But also in a separate vlog I'm making is also the grave of Ronnie Barker, of Two Ronnies sketch. So when I'm in Banbury, I'll go visit his grave in the crematorium today. And if I can find it, I might leave him 4 candles. 4 candles? No, 4 candles. Candles for forks. You know what I mean? So, just about to leave him at an hour. Let's go. Just on board the train right now at Marylebone Station in North London. I don't understand why these trains don't have power sockets. I've been travelling on trains twice last week to get from like Stoke to Macclesfield and Stoke to London. So I mean, these don't have power sockets, but I got bathrooms though, which is fine. But I really prefer I had a power socket. Hopefully there's a waiting room at Banbury Station where I can charge my phone when I get there at 7. So literally, I'm gonna get a bus from Banbury to Byfield, look around, and then from Byfield get back to Banbury, go find Two Ronnie Starr's grave, Ronnie Barker, whatever you want to call it, and get home. My train home is not until like 9 o'clock tonight. Yeah. So I'm just reading Ham and Rye. Friend lent me Charles Booker Whiskey, Polish sounding surname but born in Germany. Arrived here in Banbury just after 7 o'clock in the morning. Now the reason why I wouldn't stay overnight here is just it's pointless. I mean, Banbury is like so much closer to Birmingham than it is to London, so it just seems like worthwhile just to come here for the day and then go back home at night. I'm a bit annoyed that there was not any power sockets at that train station, because I guess it's a smaller station compared to Stoke-on-Trent or Macclesfield. There are waiting rooms, but none of the waiting rooms have power sockets. That's a bit dumb. I am hoping that there will be charges on the buses today to take you up to Byfield. I'm certain that I can get a day ticket to Byfield, because whenever I travel outside of London and I take buses in a city I've never been to, I always hopefully ask for a day ticket, because it works out to be like much more cheaper than buying single tickets, even though it's like literally 2 tickets, like from A to B then B to A. Just gonna look around for a bit. I mean, I don't like always having to plan my trips in advance like this. I just booked my train tickets on Saturday, so I thought, okay, I'm going to be off work for the next 2 days. Where do I want to go? Well, I would have gone to Hereford today, but the train tickets were an absolute joke, and I didn't feel like wanting to stay overnight in Birmingham with one of my friends. So I thought, okay, this is someplace I want to vlog, and I mean, Ronnie Barker is buried nearby, so it seems quite fitting. Yeah, the town centre, Castle K, it's not far from here. So, you want to get to Byfield, where Sandy Denny lived. Alright, you get number 200 bus that goes from Banbury to Daventry. I think you have to get off at like either Potter's End or number 28. Not really like too sure, but I think it'd be best for you to get off at number 28. That must be closer to the town. The 200 bus comes a couple of times a day, like 6:40, 7:50, 9:15. So it's normally like hourly every 2 hours. It doesn't come much on Sundays. Actually, it doesn't even run at all on Sundays. It does run on Saturday though, I guess. So best bet, come here on weekdays. So I'm still here at Banbury. It's almost 9:30. Bus is supposed to leave 9:15, but due to a crash up north, which the bus wasn't involved, there won't be any 9:15 service, so it's another hour wait. Now there are many other options I could do right now. I could go to Wetherspoons and charge my phone. I could go visit Ronnie Barker's grave up north. That's on the bus trip. But then I'm like, I can't go home today unless I've been to Byfield, no matter how long I've had to wait for a stupid bus. I'm on the 200 bus right now, going up to Byfield. So I'm leaving a few minutes time. Just been waiting here for 2 hours, so not too bad. It's just typical when you live in a small town. But hopefully I won't have to wait long to get a bus back to Banbury, because I'll go back to Banbury and then I'll go visit Ronnie Barker's grave nearby, and that'll be all done in a day. Also, it's 7:50 for a day ticket that gets you up to Byfield, back down to here, and all around. So good value though, I guess. Not too bad. I have arrived in Byfield. It's spelled Byfield. Yes. I'm still in the county of Oxfordshire. No, actually, sorry. I'm not in Oxfordshire anymore. I'm actually in, I think I'm in Northamptonshire, something like that. So, we're gonna go try to find where Sandy Denny used to live. Now, Sandy moved to Byfield, it was like in her last 4 years of life. So, between like 1973, I believe, or 74, until her death in 78. Now, Sandy did not pass away in Byfield. She passed away in like Roehampton, like near Wimbledon in London, because she was staying with her friend Miranda Ward in April of 1978, when she had, started experiencing like headaches after having an accident in Cornwall when she was taking Georgia to her mother and father who lived in Cornwall. So Trevor Lucas, Sandy's husband, Australian guy, became really concerned about the welfare of his own daughter, so he left Byfield. He sold the car and basically bought a one-way ticket back to Australia. And so after Sandy had discovered that Georgia was gone, and so was Trevor, she came down to stay with Miranda Ward. So Byfield is really significant in Sandy Denny's history, because it was at the Byfield Hall nearby where she made her last performance on the 1st of April 1978. One of her last recordings on stage was, I think, at the Royal Albert Hall. That happened like 1977 to promote like her last album. I think it was called like Reservoir. So the reason why Sandy moved to Byfield, I guess, London is so much of a hustle and bustle. She had lived in London all of her life, mostly South London and Fulham, and so, and with the money she was earning from being in Fairport Convention, I keep calling it Fairpoint, excuse me, and being married to Trevor Lucas in the early 70s, she settled in Byfield. Her daughter Georgia was actually born in Oxfordshire Hospital, and prematurely, so Georgia was in Oxford for a couple of months in the hospital. Now, I've spoken a lot on camera about Sandy Denny. I've made countless vlogs of me visiting her grave in Putney many times. I've been to all the places she lived in London. I haven't been to the hospital where she died at, which I might make that video for another day. I have been past the house in South London where she did collapse. That was the house of Miranda Ward. And Miranda actually moved out of that house like many months after Sandy had died and like lived a simple life, I guess, somewhere else in England. Yeah. It'd be a bit of a dream for me to meet Georgia Lucas someday, even if I have to go back to Australia for it. I mean, Georgia does come to England every now and then to attend like festivals in honor of her mother, and she's keeping well these days. Has made a good recovery, but coming up to Byfield to visit where Sandy Denny lived is something I've been wanting to do for many years, going back to February 2019. But the only thing that was stopping me was that lousy train fare. I didn't want to spend too much money on train fares just to get up here. Luckily, I only spent about 22 quid today just to get from London to Banbury, and another 7 quid in the bus ticket. But that's a day ticket thing. It's just so nice to be outside of London today. Seriously, I'm just so damn happy. It's like second week in a row I've gotten out of London. Last week went to visit a friend of mine in Staffordshire, and this week, I'm visiting where Sandy Denny used to live, in Byfield. So here we are, the Twistle. Good to see some daffodils up there. Chipping Warden, Banbury, it's 10 miles down the way. Upper Boddington, Prior, Marston, 3 miles. The village part of Byfield is where I've came. So we are looking for number 40. Man, it's so beautiful, It would have looked the same in the 1970s when Sandy was living here. Just, empty farmland over there. I think some of these houses might have been built the years after she'd passed away. So much empty land. With like nothing on, just farmland. And right here, that house I'm pointing at, that is where Sandy Denny lived. I thought it was number 40, but it's actually 41. Somebody made a bit of an error of it online, but looking at photographs I saw on the internet, I'm like, yes, this house matches the features that I saw on the internet. So that barn right there, that was Sandy's rehearsal studio, and this is the house Sandy had lived in until April 1978. Yes. So I'm not gonna set foot on it or go any closer, but this is where Sandy Denny lived in Byfield. And I'm so overwhelmed with emotion being here. I just feel like it's the final piece of the puzzle in my quest to visit all locations of Sandy Denny's childhood and livelihood. So you're probably thinking, why would somebody like Sandy Denny want to give up everything in London and come live here? Well, many reasons. Fairport Convention, they weren't big rock stars like Rolling Stones or AC/DC or The Who. And I really shouldn't be comparing them to rock bands, but if you're an artist, I kind of think you tend to make more music if you have a really good surroundings of peaceful quietness, not much noise. Helps you think more, helps you do more, helps you create more. You gotta remember, Sandy Denny's parents, the Denny clan was actually Scottish. They were Scottish migrants to London. So that's where Sandy and her brother were born in the 1940s. Yes, and they lived in Wimbledon. And upon retirement, the Denny parents moved to Cornwall. And I think that's where they lived until they both passed away in the 1980s and late 1990s. You remember, Sandy's brother was tragically killed, I believe, in Colorado, like 2 years later, in 1980. So the Dennys are all together in their plot in Putneyville Cemetery. So now they're going to go find Byfield, hall where Sandy Denny made her last public performance in 1st of April 1978. So here I am on a rainy day in Byfield, just pouring down with weather. I'm outside the Byfield Village Hall. This was open. Yeah, the foundation stone was laid in 1953, and it says it was opened. Yeah, so it must have opened 1953, 1954. So right here, they put this blue block up in 2017 on, it would have been Sandy Denny's 70th birthday. Alexandra Elaine McLean, Sandy Denny, 1947-1978. Influential folk rock singer-songwriter with Fairport Convention. Played her final gig at Byfield Village Hall, 1st of April 1978. Awarded by the BBC Radio Northampton British Plaque Trust. So literally they had to wait like 40 years to put a blue plaque up to commemorate that Sandy Denny played a last gig here. And boy, it is an honor, rain, hail or shine, to be at the front where Sandy Denny made her last ever public performance. It's a very somber location and all. I encourage all fans of Fairport Convention Sandy Denny to come to Byfield and check this place out. So anyway, it's raining. I don't know where I'm gonna go next. It must be a pub. There's actually a lawn bowls. Anyway, this is Martin the Metalhead finishing my Sandy Denny Byfield vlog for right now. Over and out.